The organization, after I left it, created an award in my name.
Hi, my name is Carlos Ramirez-Rosa. I'm the Alderman-elect of Chicago's 35th Ward. We're here tonight at our debate watch party in the 35th Ward, the third debate on wttw. I thought that Chewy did an amazing job of laying out how he's going to prioritize our neighborhoods and families as the next Alderman of the city of Chicago, next mayor of the city of Chicago. And I also think Chewy did an amazing job of reminding us of the bad choices and wrong priorities that Rahm Emanuel has had as a mayor. We're about 7 days away from Election Day, April 7th, and I think that we're going to see a big win for Chewy, a big win for our neighborhoods as we turn our voters out. People are really excited here in Chicago to change the direction of City Hall, and we saw that on February 24th when 55% of Chicago said they wanted change.
Number one, what do people think? What are some reactions?
Carlos had to say something. As former CPS, not a minute of that extra time is going to classroom instruction. It all goes.
So not a minute of additional time has gone to, of the additional longer school day has gone to classroom instruction.
It all goes to recess and an extra long lunch period.
I mean, I don't know. I was really struck. There was definitely like racial undertones in that question about his son being a gang member, because that's all he was saying. And it's like, oh, he's Latino, or he's from a little village. Like, of course he's a gang member, right? Like, and he kept pressing it, and like, that was just wrong.
And whenever there's a candidate of color that's at the verge of winning an election, what do we hear? Detroit, right? And in this case, so we're hearing, oh, gangs, Detroit. Yeah, any reactions?
You know, we're not talking about racial undertones. Like, as a person of color who resembles Chewy's children, we're not talking about undertones. We're talking about a direct attack on people that look like me and people that look like Chewy Garcia. We're talking about Rom's neighbor, Phil Ponce, directly tying Chewy Garcia to things in our community that are destroying our communities that he has nothing to do with. And I think as people of color, we need to give a direct refutation to this, which is that your policies of austerity, your policies of neoliberalism that you have pushed not only in the city of Chicago, but while you were in DC collecting checks from hedge fund managers and billionaires, have made it so that people of color are flooding into our countries, and so that people of color are having to turn to violence and crime to support our families. And this is, I'm tired of trying to play nice to placate white people and to make them comfortable. As people of color, we need to tell our children and our friends that we're being attacked not only by Rahm Emanuel, but by public television. We need to tell them that it's time to hit the goddamn doors and elect Chewy Garcia as our next mayor.
So with Rahm, we've had bad choices, right? Deciding to close the mental health clinics while at the same time giving $55 million to $1 billion corporation that didn't need that money, right? We've had the bad choices of closing 50 schools, right? And we've had the wrong priorities, right? Magic Johnson got an $80 million CPS contract from Rahm. Rahm got a $250,000 campaign contribution, and our kids got dirty schools. So that's the bad choices, the wrong priorities, and then the broken promises, right? Rahm told us he was going to put more cops on the street. As a matter of fact, we have less today, right? So that's what we've gotten with Rahm as mayor, right? And then with Chewy, we have a qualified leader who's going to prioritize our neighborhoods and our families, right? Not big campaign contributors, not Magic Johnson, not Republican billionaires. He's going to prioritize our neighborhoods and our families. And that's exactly what he's done his entire career, right? As an alderman, he helped get Harold Washington elected, right? Talk about addressing race relations. He was the first one to do it, right? To be out there, right? Building those coalitions. He also passed the first comprehensive ethics ordinance with Harold Washington. He supported the gay rights ordinance under Harold Washington, right? Then as a state senator in Springfield, he was an independent champion for working families. So independent that the Democratic machine came after him big time, right? And then as a Cook County commissioner, he balanced the budget without raising taxes, without regressive fines, unlike Rahm Emanuel, right? And then also he made sure that we were protecting immigrant families, right? So Chewy consistently, right, his entire career, right, he's been prioritizing our neighborhoods and families. And that's exactly what he's going to do as our next mayor. So if people want no, hey, what's Chewy about? He's about prioritizing our neighborhoods and families. Rahm has the wrong priorities, right?
They go around and ask, Chewy, what are you going to do to improve race relations? And Rahm's response was, well, look at Indiana. Like, Indiana's going through he didn't even answer the question. It proves that he does not care about his of-color constituents because they're not, I guess we don't represent enough funders, or we don't represent enough wealthy funders for him to care about us.
Yeah, so I thought that Chewy did an amazing job laying out how he will prioritize our neighborhoods and families as our next mayor. I thought he did an amazing job of reminding viewers at home how Rahm Emanuel's bad choices, wrong priorities, and broken promises have really hurt regular Chicagoans, closing our schools, failing to increase the number of police, keeping our streets safe, while also giving out hundreds of millions of dollars to his top campaign contributors. I didn't think that Phil Ponce asked the serious questions about Rahm's bad choices around school closures. I think Rahm really needs to be pressed about why it is that he closed his schools and how his campaign contributors benefited from those school closures. I also don't think that Phil Ponce also asked the hard questions about the layoffs that Rahm Emanuel has engaged in. And again, how Rahm Emanuel has laid off city workers, privatized city services, and then who wins? Not the taxpayer, not the regular Chicagoan. It's, again, Rahm Emanuel's top campaign contributors. So I really think that we need to have a serious conversation about how Rahm Emanuel's pay-to-play politics are hurting regular Chicagoans. Absolutely. April 7th is going to be a historic election. It's the first runoff election in a generation, and certainly under this new system that we have here in Chicago. So it's definitely important that everyone at all races and all backgrounds come out to vote on April 7th to express their wants and their needs here in the city of Chicago.